Hello everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I will be teaching you some skills and giving you some practice for the listening and reading section today. Nice to see so many students joining so early. Nice to see a few of our sponsors in there. Hi Baljit. Hi Manisha. I believe I saw Josh Shale there earlier as well. Good to see you again. Thank you for sponsoring our channel. It makes this possible for all the students around the world. That's great. All right, girls and guys, hope you can hear me and see me okay, or at least see the board behind me. If you can't, please let me know. Today, again, IELTS listening practice and reading practice. My goal is to go through section 3 and 4 of test number 2. And then do some reading practice, passage 3 from test number 4. So lots of practice today, a little bit less speaking from me about the strategies. So good chance for you right now to just focus and get it done. The materials are coming from aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. No, I'm having coffee, Manisha, getting myself all hyped up for everyone. All right, so again, definitely check out our app on Google Play. It's pretty exciting. Search for Academic IELTS Help in your Google Play Store. Look for our icon, download the app, and use the practice materials there. You can access our videos through the app. You can also access some interactive tests, and we'll be uploading more very, very soon. So again, aehelp.com is our website. You can get all of our materials, interactive course videos there as well, and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. All right, so we'll get cracking here pretty quick. Everybody, please get your pencil and paper ready. Arcana will hopefully have our iPhone version of the app ready at the end of this week or early next week, so keep an eye out for that. I'll definitely be doing a shout out once it's available in your Apple Store also. All right, girls and guys, again, pencils, papers ready. Please do not write your answers into the chat. Give everybody a fair chance. Wait until the end of the listening. I'll go through the answers with you together, and we can check what's right and wrong. So please give everybody a fair chance. All right, so again, we need to log into the website for these materials. This is our academic website, blue background. General website is green background. We'll use the academic one as usual. Log in at the top. And once you're logged in, this audio material, of course the exams are in PDF format and interactive format. And it's the audio CDs tab that we're looking for here. And we are in test number 2, so CD2 track number 3. All right, here we go.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Let me just get the right PDF going here. Just a second. All right. Okay. Un momento. Here we go.
Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having 1 essay or 1 final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So, what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right. So, do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure to
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, so that's the end of section 3. Let's go through the answers together, starting with question number 21. Why does the student go to see her professor? Is it A, she's been in the hospital, B, she's been ill, C, she registered late? What do you girls and guys think? Why does the student go? She says it right away at the very beginning. So hopefully you caught it. Yeah, it is B. So good for you, Arcana and Manisha and Parmeet, for catching that one. Definitely use the capital letter B in your answer sheet when you transfer your answers. Avoid the small letter B. All right. Then we had this great big flow chart or table that you needed to complete. And of course, you want to pay careful attention to the instructions. It says no more than 2 words and or a number. Number 22, the class time. So it's showing you what is indicated in the left column. And then in the right column, it's showing you what the details are for that category. So here it's class times. Class times are 10 to 11:30 on Thursday and Monday, yeah. And the easiest answer that anybody gave so far is Lytton, just Mun. You can shorten the days of the week, so Mun is okay for Monday, or you can write Monday all capitals, or you can write Monday like that. You cannot write it like this. Okay, so this one is wrong because the M is small. The M has to be big. Days of the week are proper nouns in English, so careful with that. Days of the week and months are proper nouns, okay? This is the safest way to do it. Okay, location. Location is something building, room A313. What building is it in? Did anybody get it? Again, it's the name of a building, so the J has to be a capital. Okay, it's the Juliet building. There's nothing in front of that, Disha. I don't know why you got the 23. I see that Parneet gave the French spelling, so Juliet, like that. Or some of you gave the English spelling, Juliet, like that. Both of these are acceptable. Okay, there's two ways to spell that name. Juliet and Juliet are both okay. Srinivas, we do not have a separate general training yet, although we do have a different YouTube channel for general. However, the listening section is the same in both, so it really doesn't matter here. All right, so Juliet, Juliet, both spellings are okay. Just make sure that whichever one you chose, it is correct. Okay? The next one, 24, you might even be able to guess if you didn't catch it. Monday and Wednesday, 2:30 to 4, so it's just 30 minutes. It's very short. Obviously, if you're using logic, logic is your friend. 30 minutes is too short for any kind of class. So here, remember, 2 words and or a number. So you have to have office hours. If you only put office, you would get it wrong. You definitely need the second word here, office hours. Notice class times, office hours, or office times. You need both, okay? One word is not enough, so please make sure you don't mark it right if you just put office, because office is not Monday and Wednesday. I'm sure that the professor has the office all the time. It's his office. He has it 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But his office hours for students to visit are these 2 days, 2:30 to 4. So you need both words, okay? And it has to have an S. If you say office hour, again, it's not enough. It'll be wrong, all right? So make sure that you pay attention to details. Details are important. In some strange way, IELTS actually tests students how much they pay attention to detail. So careful with that. Careful with details. Don't lose easy marks. Okay, and then before the short break, we had a couple more there. So required books, that's what we're talking about here. And then in more detail, book 1 is available at the bookshop, and it costs, now notice here you have the symbol for pounds, so you should not write pounds because it's mentioned in the question. Arcana, Lytton, Nemo, Bocadi, Baljit, Parneet. Very good. 20 it is. Okay, I hope you heard 20. The 2 books together cost 35, Nirmal and Sanim, but this book that's available in the bookshop costs 20 pounds. This is the other book that costs 15 pounds as indicated in the question, and the combined price is 35. So careful not to make that mistake. That's 20 pounds. Okay, book number 2. This question actually preceded, the answer preceded this one, so it's a little bit tricky. Number 26, notice how the B here is a capital letter. It's a big B, so it's definitely the name of a bookshop. Which bookshop is it? Arcana, very good. Let's see if anybody else got that. Yeah, it's Buster's. So Buster's, or you could have done it like this as well. okay? You could have done it with the hyphen because Buster's book technically means that Buster is the name and the books belong to Buster, so it's Buster's book. But I'm sure that in IELTS they'll give it to you for either one. So they'll give you Buster's books like that or Buster's books like that. Both are okay in this case. If you're really, really clever, you'll realize that, hey, that means the books belong to Buster, so it's Buster's with a hyphen, Buster's books. And of course, all capitals are okay. Big B, if you have a small b, it's wrong. Name of a bookshop is definitely a proper noun and requires capitalization. Again, if you want to avoid that risk, write all capitals. Just pay attention to your spelling, okay? So that's Buster's. All right, and then the coursework. So this last little bit here describes the coursework, so what is involved in the course that this student is going to catch up on. Again, girls and guys, logic, logic, logic. First essay, 15%. Midterm exam, 20%. This exam, 40%. 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 15 is 75. 100 minus 75 has to be 25, as many of you correctly realized. Again, percent is given. Please don't write the word percent, even if you need the symbol. If it's missing, just use the symbol. Students often misspell the word percent, so please, please, please just use the symbol. In this case, you don't need it. It's given. All you do is put 25 into the space. Okay, first essay, second essay, midterm exam, and what's number 28? Anybody? Unfortunately, Lytton, you'd get that wrong. I'll show you why in a second. Sanim, there you go. That's what we're looking for. Arcana, Bugatti. Baljit, you'd get it wrong because of the S. There is only one. It's not a plural. Final is not enough. Notice, again, it's two words, right? First essay, second essay, midterm exam. Final exam. You got to have exam. Without exam, you're in trouble, okay? So, again, details, 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 girls and guys. Final exam, all right? Make sure you have both words. Don't lose easy marks. You're like, hey, that's easy. It's a final. And in real life, in language, we will often say, I have a final coming up on the weekend. We omit the word exam, but that's incorrect. That's just because it's understood. In clear communication, we should say exam, all right? So details, details. Let's say you missed the word exam, okay? So you just put in final. When you have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet, or when you have that 30 seconds at the end of the section to review your answers, it's these kinds of details that you should pay attention to. So don't just go blind with these given examples, but when you look at your answers in that 30 seconds and in that 10 minute, then have a look and go, oh, wait a second. It says first essay, second essay, midterm exam, final for something strange. Yeah, maybe final exam is a better answer. What does the question say? 2 words and or a number? Oh, it's got to be final exam. You definitely can't get final exam wrong. So that's what you should be doing in that time to check your answers or to transfer your answers to the answer sheet, okay? Again, details, details, details. That's right, Jeffrey. The devil hides in the details is an exceptionally good expression. If you girls and guys are following the chat here, I promise you Jeffrey and I are not colleagues. It's just a very good student with some great English skills. And he's using an expression there that the devil hides in the details, or the devils hide in details. And he's absolutely right. A lot of students lose marks because of these tiny little details. Okay, so the last 2 questions, write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. It's just one question. How long should the first assignment be approximately? And the answer is 1,500 words. That's right. And again, you need both words. You need the word words. 1,500 is not enough. It doesn't say how many words should the first assignment be. If the question says how many words should the first assignment be, 1,500 would be enough. But it doesn't ask you that. It says how long should the first assignment be approximately. The correct full answer to that is 1,500 words. For IELTS, girls and guys, you need to use full term communication, okay? So you need to communicate in IELTS, in the listening, in the speaking, in the reading, in the writing, the same way as you communicate to an alien. They're smart, but you need to be clear and complete, okay? It's not like casual street language where we cut out a lot of our information, okay? You really, really, really need to complete your thoughts, okay? So just remember, use language as if you're communicating to an alien visitor. Ajit, the classes are usually 16:30 to 17:30 Central Eastern Europe or Central European time. Sorry, Budapest time, Hungary Budapest time. All right, last question here. Question 30. The student's class ends at 11:30 a.m. on the day the paper is due. Decide whether a paper handed in is on time or late. Write the correct letter, A or B, next to the question. So this, you have to really put together the information. A, the student receives a late penalty, or B, the essay is on time, no penalty. The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office with no time stamp received. Is it late? Does the student receive a penalty or no? With no stamp, pay penalty. I don't think they have to, well, yeah, pay a percentage penalty, not a fee. But yeah, it seems like A is the correct answer. There was definitely something there about the timestamp. But maybe it's B because it is the same day. So if the paper's handed in on the same day, then it should be okay. So I'm not sure. It's A or B. Should I stress about this, girls and guys? So if I can't really catch this one, it's quite a tricky answer. Should I freak out? Should my brain just be going, whoa, or maybe it's C? What should I do? Should I be freaking out? Jeffrey says, just guess. You have a 50-50 chance. So take your best jab at it. 50-50. It's some good odds. Black or red in the roulette table. So heads or tails if you're flipping a coin. It's not bad. A or B. You may or may not get it. Don't worry about it. All right? Let's put B for now. Okay, so that's section 3. Add up your scores. We'll take a look actually at the answer key at the end, so you can wait to add your scores then. Let's do listening section 4. Everybody, again, have those papers and pencils ready. Wait until the end of the audio to give your answers, okay? Give everybody a fair chance. Please do not write your answers into the chat. And we're going to get cracking right away here with section number 4. Again, materials, these ones we're playing out of the Academic IELTS website, which is aehelp.com, and we are jumping to CD2 track number 4. Here we go.
I'll turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class, we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time, a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur. Not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in Eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, Western North America and Eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, it would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime, T-Rex's teeth could be replaced over and over throughout a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And again, in that half a minute, check your answers. Look for those details. Look for those capitalizations. Look for those spelling mistakes. Look for the question details. Make sure you're using 2 words when necessary. All right. So, girls and guys, a little bit about our friend T-Rex here for section 4. Notice how there was no break here. Baljit said, hey, that was kind of easy. Yeah, sometimes you can luck out and get a section 4 that seems a bit easier. The topic can be more familiar. All right, so let's go through the answers together. Here, this is just one question. It is only worth 1 mark. You have to identify which of these events happened 65 million years ago. The dinosaurs became extinct, Tyrannosaurus rex came into existence, T-Rex died out, or a large asteroid hit the Earth. Is it 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4, or C, 1, 3, and 4? What do you think? Okay, I think the most popular answer there is C. I agree with you. I think it's C. It makes logical sense as well. Asteroid hits the Earth, T-Rex dies, all dinosaurs die. Logical? Yeah. T-Rex comes into existence? It's weird. I mean, T-Rex was around for a few million years, so it would be strange to imagine that it dies out in the same year. Although, hey, it could be possible that, you know, a million years is a long time, that it only lived for that million years. But in this case, I do think that it's C, so I agree with all of those students who said, hey, I think this is got to be C. It's got to be C. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. This one came pretty quick. Tyrannosaurus Rex lived during which time? This is where you have to be careful with the movies, because if you're thinking about movies like Jurassic Park, then you're going to pick A, but movies are false. The T-Rex did not come into existence like in the movies in the Jurassic period. In fact, it came into existence during the late Cretaceous period. The speaker even says, contrary to its Hollywood depiction, the T-Rex did not live during the Jurassic period. It lived during the late Cretaceous period, millions of years apart. So B is the correct answer there, okay? How tall was Tyrannosaurus Rex? And that's right, Arcana. There was paraphrasing there. The speaker said T-Rex could be as high as B, 6 meters. And you had to be careful because A was the length of the dinosaur. Of course, the dinosaur looks like this, right? With its big mouth, its little arms, big clawy hands, right? So the dinosaur was very long. It had a very long tail. So its length was much more than its height, okay? It's a bizarre looking T-Rex. But more or less the right shape. Yeah, of course, it was much, much longer than it would be high because of its tail. 6 meters tall, 12 meters high. 6 meters is still quite a tall beast. All right, so B and B in this case. Again, if you miss it, just take a guess. 1 in 3, you'll get it right. Write no more than 2 words. It was a 2-word answer. The theory which explains why fossils are found in different regions of the world is called continental drift. That's right. The C and the D should be big because it's the name of the theory in this case. Continental drift. Okay. You might get it right if you write a small c and a small d, but I would be on the safe side, write a big one for these because it's the name of a theory, okay? If you want to be safe for sure, write all capital letters. Just remember it's a lot of letters, so don't make a spelling mistake. Some girls and guys, so some of our viewers, I'm sure, are realizing by this point, if you're watching these classes regularly, that these words come up in some of our other lessons as well. So some of our reading talks about continental drift theory. We do that in our materials on purpose. So we cross over the information between different sections of different exams to make our teaching materials more effective. So that's why you'll see the idea of continental drift pop in a section for listening in test number 2. And in test number 3, in one of the reading passages, you'll see a full passage about continental drift. It's just to help you learn these topics. So we do what's called information integration to help you learn from our websites. Okay, so you might think, hey, I saw this before, but it might have been in the reading. Okay, here you have a table completion. Again, in tables, pay attention to the headings of the columns. They should make sense. Number 35, T-Rex had extremely something arms. And if you have the picture of T-Rex in your head, then you see these little little things going on. Short is the right answer for number 35. Yeah, T-Rex had very short arms. Arms are important for hunting. Logic tells me short arms are probably not all that useful for hunting. So that means number 36 has to be scavenger. Now, notice here the word scavenger is given, okay, in the next row. So all you have to do is copy this word, okay? So don't be silly. Don't make a spelling mistake when they give you the actual answer here. So conclusion is that T-Rex is a scavenger. Okay? It would be very, very sad to lose that mark for spelling because it's right underneath. Okay, so scavenger it is. And short arms it is. So that's 35, 36. Able to detect carcasses from long. This was fairly simple. Logic could give you this one as well. Distances. It is a plural here, Arcana. Careful with that. You can count it in some cases. So distances, from long distances. Distance, yeah, I think you might not get the mark without that S. It's a little bit debatable. The safe bet here is definitely with the plural long distances. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Large serrated teeth. If you're wondering about the word serrated, serrated means like this. Okay, so if these are the teeth, this is a serrated teeth. If you're using a saw is a cutting tool, then this would be a serrated hand saw. Okay, so if I grab this and I saw a piece of wood, this is a serrated hand saw. So that's what serrated means if you're wondering about that vocabulary. And of course, this kind of teeth, it's able to tear through tough, let's see the word there. Yeah, skin, exactly. Good one. So skin it is. So able to tear through tough skin. Good. Able to tear through tough skin. Again, the word is given right underneath for 39. So the correct answer there is predator. If I'm ripping something apart, I'm probably a predator. If I don't need to tear through that tough skin, usually living skin is really tough. Could be a scavenger, but the professor definitely says that it's predator. It's predatory to have that kind of a sharp tooth like a wolf or a lion or a tiger. Okay, number 40. Number 40 is what? What kind of teeth did the animal have? It's replaceable. Now, here's one where the spelling could really get you. It's basically replace, so R-E-P-L-A-C-E, and then able, all one word. Able, so able to replace, replaceable. Okay? Make sure you have the correct spelling. If not, it is wrong. All right? So replaceable teeth. Okay, girls and guys, let's have a peek at the answer key. Look at which ones you actually got right and wrong. Only give yourself marks. Be honest with yourself. If you're cheating, you're only cheating yourself. So let's have a look at the answer key. Count up your marks. If you were here for yesterday's class, add them together, and then we'll take a peek at your band score, okay? So just give me one moment here to bring up that answer key for you. Jumping to page 199. All right. So here we go. Our answer keys are time-coded in our first exam book, so you can go back and listen to the exact part of the audio where the answers are contained. That's also one of our kind of additional features there. Okay, so here we go with number 31. So 31 was C, or sorry, let's go back to the 20s, section 3. Okay, so number 21 was B. Okay, so hopefully you got that. The student was ill. 22 is Monday, as you can see here. 23 is Juliet, spelt either French or English. Notice 24 is office hours. You need both words. If you just have office, it's not okay. 25 is 20, busters or busters, books. 27 is 25, 28 is 2 words, final exam, 29 is 2 words, 1,500 words, 30 is A, 31 C, 32 B, 33 B, 34 continental drift, it is a name, notice how they capitalize the C and the D, 35 short, 36 scavenger, 37 distances, 38 skin, 39 predator, and 40 is replaceable. Okay, so girls and guys, add up your scores. Tell me what you got, and we'll have a quick look at the band scores before we do a reading section. Okay, so for the band scores, I'm going to go back to the website. At the very, very bottom of our website, I'll show you this. Whabam! There you go. There's a score calculator that you can click on. And when you click on the score calculator, it will bring it up. Please, girls and guys, if you're doing general IELTS, make sure you use the general IELTS version of our site because the scores are calculated a little bit differently. I'll make it a tad bit darker here for us so you can see it better. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so 39 out of 40 Arcana is going to be 9. 39 out of 40 and 40 out of 40, that's what a band 9 is. After that starts band 8.5. So Bogatti, you got 35 in the listening. Just going to make sure I'm doing the listening here. So 35 is an 8. So good job there, Bogatti. It's very good. Nemo, 17 out of 20. Let's double that for you. Let's make that 34. That's a 7.5. Malik, 32. That's also a 7.5. I believe 7.5 is 32 to 35, okay? If you missed yesterday's class, Cast Curious, then have a look at the video. It's up on YouTube, and then do it there, or go to the website or the exam. Cast Curious, if you don't have our exam books yet, make sure to send me an email so I can send that to you. You are a sponsor, so you should have access to the exams. All right. Okay, that's pretty good, everyone. Looking good, looking sharp. Just to give you an idea, if you get 30, 30 is a 7, all right? 25 is a 6, okay? So if you need 6.5, I believe that starts at around 27, yeah. 26, sorry. So if you need 6.5 on the IELTS, you need to get at least 26 correct, all right? That's your absolute minimum. Okay, good job there. Now, let's jump to the reading. Okay, I promised one of our sponsors yesterday that we would do some reading, and I'll hold true to my word, so we will do that now, okay? So this is passage 3. It is going to be a little bit more difficult. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of fluency work with you first, and then we'll do the actual reading and answering questions after. Let's brighten this back up for you. Yes, I'm on it, Baljit. I'm pretty fast, but not that fast, even though I'm pounding the coffee. So give me a second. Okay, so again, one of the unique features of our websites is that we do provide audio for all of the reading passages. You don't have that in the official exam, but for practice at home for your reading, it is really good to have. I think we're probably the only company in the world right now that provides audio for the reading passages of IELTS. So again, it's a great way to improve. Definitely suggest using our course at aehelp.com or gieltshelp.com. This is test book 2, test number 4, passage number 3. So let me bring up the audio for you. Again, your goal here is simply to read along with the audio and work on your fluency. So jumping back into our student account. By the way, the websites are responsive, so you can use them on your phone or your tablet. And then we're going to go to CD number 4, reading passage number 3, which is right here. So get ready, go.
Aesthetic merit of abstract art. Abstract art is notorious for its apparent lack of artistic skill, meaning and value. While its harshest critics believe that abstract art is not art at all, many art connoisseurs feel that abstract art is an aesthetically pleasing expression of the human condition. This article will discuss both sides of the issue and present arguments for and against the aesthetic merit of abstract art. Abstract art, by definition, does not follow the rules of reality. Until the late 19th century, artists had, more or less, stuck to the notion of art as representation of reality. Artists such as Gainsborough or Rembrandt followed the rules of reality with regards to light, perspective, physics and logic. Abstract artists like Jackson Pollock rejected these supposed rules of painting. Instead, Pollock made his own rules, or rejected rules entirely. The aesthetic value of works such as Pollock's, that is to say the ability for works like his to elicit pleasure when viewed, is the point at stake in this discussion. On the one hand, some critics feel that abstract art is facile, silly and indulgent. It is, on their account, a perfect example of the kind of art snobbery that the outside world finds so distasteful. Looking at a canvas covered in blue paint, we are meant to see something, perhaps jealousy, perhaps the death of human emotion, perhaps the bleakness of the human condition, but for many people they merely see a blue rectangle. It is not mere lack of imagination, however, that gives viewers the impression that the artwork lacks aesthetic merit. Many critics who have a keen eye for good art feel that many works of abstract art lack aesthetic merit. A common argument against these artworks is that they lack skill. Artworks by Rembrandt and Gainsborough are unambiguously works of profound skill. These artists committed their lifetimes to their craft and it shows in the virtuosity of their works. It is important to note, however, that aesthetic merit must not be solely reserved for the sublime. In comparing Rembrandt to an abstract artist such as Pollock, one must realise that there are many kinds of aesthetic merit. For example, there is the aesthetic merit in a sunset, in a beautiful sculpture, in a symphony, or even in a well-composed meal. So if aesthetic merit is represented in manifold ways, is it possible that abstract art satisfies at least one of those criteria? Many critics say yes. The value of abstract art lies, for some critics, in its mystery. Whereas realist artworks simply show and tell their meaning, the meaning of abstract works is hidden behind a veil of ambiguity. Perhaps the artist has an intended meaning, perhaps the artist does not. Additionally, the meaning for one person may be different than the meaning for another person. The key is that the painting does have meaning, but is meaning the same as aesthetic merit? Arguably not. Words have meanings, for example, but lack aesthetic merit. However, one might say for a painting or other artwork to have meaning is precisely for it to have aesthetic merit. Perhaps the real answer to the debate is that whether an object has aesthetic merit or not is up to the viewer. An object can have aesthetic merit for one person, but lack it for another person. So in this sense, abstract art is neither meritorious nor the opposite. Instead, it is whatever the viewer thinks it is. On this account, if a person finds an abstract work of art aesthetically pleasing, then that artwork is aesthetically pleasing for him or her. If not, then it is not. This answer, however, will not satisfy some readers, who desire a clear answer to the debate in question. For such readers, it is important to point out that ambiguity is inherent in all art. In fact, ambiguity is part of the aesthetic experience itself. So the fact that there is no clear answer forthcoming to the aesthetic merit of abstract art is not surprising. It is the nature of art to lack crystal clarity in order to invite interpretation and meditation, which are critical parts of the very aesthetic experience in question.
All right, so that's passage 3 in academic IELTS. Definitely a little bit more difficult than if you're reading about something concrete or very visible, like a volcano. All right. Arcana, we have done this a while back, but be careful not to confuse this with one of our listening audios where there's an interview about abstract art. So again, just a reminder that you'll notice when you go through our materials that we make connections among different sections of reading, listening, reading, writing, among different exams. But this is a passage as opposed to the listening audio, I believe in test number 6. Okay? So let's have a look at these questions, and then we'll go through the reading again together. I'll give you a chance to answer the questions, and then you'll find out whether or not you get them right or wrong, okay? So here, reading passage has 7 paragraphs. Manisha, you're saying we did this for the multiple question class, so you should do well. It should be good review for you. This type of question, should we read it before the passage or not? What do you think? You may use any letter more than once. Which paragraph contains the information? Definitely read these ones. It's in the passage. It's a good idea to read, okay? You should read these ones, Manisha. So the rejection of old rules of art, different kinds of aesthetic value, two competing arguments about the value of abstract art. Ambiguity itself provides part of the aesthetic experience. The mysterious nature of abstract art. Aesthetic value is up to the viewer. By the way, girls and guys, if you're watching and you're going, what is he talking about? What is abstract art? Abstract art is when you see a painting or a picture where the meaning is not very clear, such as this one here. All you see are a whole bunch of blue brush strokes. So it's up to you, the viewer, to try to imagine what you see or think about what you see and whether or not you like it. You think, hey, this is ugly, this is useless, it's nothing. Or you say, wow, that's beautiful. I see the old crystal chandelier I had in my last apartment in that painting. So it's up to you, the viewer, right? So that's abstract art. Use the picture to help you understand. Okay, so questions 33 to 36. This is that multiple choice that you were thinking of, Manisha. Absolutely read the questions. Don't read the answers. 3 answers are wrong and confusing. So just read the question. What makes abstract art different from classic art? Logic can help you answer that question also. 34, a common critique of abstract art is that it lacks something. Okay. 35, why is it important to note that aesthetic merit not solely be reserved for the sublime? 36, while realist works of art explicitly show their meaning, abstract works of art do what? 37 to 40, true, false, not given. Definitely do not read these questions before the passage. They will only confuse you. I've shown the strategy for that a few different times, so if you're not sure, check out some of the videos on the channel, and you can get a good idea of how to answer true, false, not given questions. Okay, let's go through this and give the answers, and then see how we do. So now here you're focusing on understanding the meaning of each paragraph. So let's read it again a little bit slower. Focus on the meaning. Focus on what the author is trying to tell you. A, abstract art is notorious for its apparent lack of artistic skill, meaning, and value. By the way, girls and guys, please read with me, okay? Read with me nice and loud. I'm not just reading this for you. Please practice reading aloud with me, okay? While its harshest critics believe that abstract art is not art at all, many art connoisseurs feel that abstract art is an aesthetically pleasing expression of the human condition. This article will discuss both sides of the issue and present arguments for and against the aesthetic merit of abstract art. What is this paragraph about? It is about the debate of what the value and merit of abstract art may be. Abstract art, by definition, does not follow the rules of reality. Until the late 19th century, artists had more or less stuck to the notion of art as representation of reality. Artists such as Gainsborough or Rembrandt followed the rules of reality with regards to light, perspective, physics, and logic. Abstract artists like Jackson Pollock rejected these supposed rules of painting. Instead, Pollock made his own rules or rejected rules entirely. The aesthetic value of the works of Pollock's, that is to say, the ability for works like his to elicit pleasure when viewed, is the point at stake in this discussion. What is this paragraph about? It is about traditional art versus the more modern abstract art, one that is very realistic and has set rules for light, perspective, logic. The other, which denies these rules. Okay, On one hand, some critics feel that abstract art is facile, silly, and indulgent. It is on their account a perfect example of the kind of art snobbery that the outside world finds so distasteful. Looking at a canvas covered in blue paint, we are meant to see something, perhaps jealousy, perhaps the depth of human emotion, perhaps the bleakness of the human condition. But for many people, they merely see a blue rectangle. It is not mere lack of imagination, however, that gives viewers the impression that the artwork lacks aesthetic merit. Many critics who have a keen eye for good art feel that many works of abstract art lack aesthetic merit. A common argument against these artworks is that they lack skill. Artworks by Rembrandt and Gainsborough are unambiguously works of profound skill. These artists committed their lifetimes to their craft, and it shows in the virtuosity of their works. What is this paragraph about? It's about the argument against abstract art, meaning that abstract art is maybe not art because it's hard to interpret and there's no skill involved. It is important to note, however, that aesthetic merit must not be solely reserved for the sublime. In comparing Rembrandt to an abstract artist such as Pollock, one must realize there are many kinds of aesthetic merit. For example, there is the aesthetic merit in a sunset, in a beautiful sculpture, in a symphony, or even in a well-composed meal. So if aesthetic merit is represented in manifold ways, is it possible that abstract art satisfies at least one of those criteria? Many critics say yes. What is this paragraph about? It's about what humans call aesthetically pleasing or beautiful, and the idea that many different aspects of human life can be beautiful, such as a sunset, a song, or a sculpture. E. The value of abstract art lies, for some critics, in its mystery. Whereas realist artworks simply show and tell their meaning, the meaning of abstract works is hidden behind a veil of ambiguity. Perhaps the artist has an intended meaning, perhaps the artist does not. Additionally, the meaning for one person may be different than the meaning for another person. The key is that the painting does have meaning. But is meaning the same as aesthetic merit? Arguably not. Words have meanings, for example, but lack aesthetic merit. However, one might say for a painting or other artwork to have meaning is precisely for it to have aesthetic merit. What is this paragraph about? Well, it's saying that abstract art, like all art, does have meaning, and if it has meaning, because it's art, potentially that is the same as having beauty. And I see some of the comments that students are making where you're telling me what it's about, and that's great, okay? So think about what these paragraphs are about. Critical, active reading is super, super important. F, perhaps the real answer to the debate is that whether an object has aesthetic merit or not is up to the viewer. An object can have aesthetic merit for one person, but lack it for another person. So in this sense, abstract art is neither meritorious nor the opposite. Instead, it is whatever the viewer thinks it is. On this account, if a person finds an abstract work of art aesthetically pleasing, then that artwork is aesthetically pleasing for him or her. If not, then it is not. What is this paragraph about? It's about the importance of perspective. So the viewer of the artwork gives value to the art. If the viewer thinks it's beautiful, it is beautiful. If the viewer thinks it's not beautiful, then it's not beautiful. G. This answer, however, will not satisfy some readers who desire a clear answer to the debate in question. For such readers, it is important to point out that ambiguity is inherent in all art. In fact, ambiguity is part of the aesthetic experience itself. So the fact that there is no clear answer forthcoming to the aesthetic merit of abstract art is not surprising. It is the nature of art to lack crystal clarity in order to invite interpretation and meditation, which are critical parts of the very aesthetic experience in question. What is this paragraph about? It's about the importance of ambiguity in artwork. And that, in fact, makes artwork beautiful. All right, so this little exercise that I was doing real time, asking what the paragraph is about and giving some details for each one, is something that I highly, highly recommend to all students for practice at home before IELTS. You really need to be able to do this to be effective and get high band scores. Now, let's try to figure out which of these paragraphs contain the answers to these questions. If you did what I did and you understood these paragraphs, just at least the main idea, you should be able to get these questions right, and you should have a pretty clear idea of roughly, approximately where that information is. So number 27, the rejection of old rules of art. Where was that? Was that in the beginning? And where did you find that information? There's one paragraph that talks about rules. And Muras, I believe you're right. Now, this is not skimming and scanning. This is just simply referencing. Don't confuse referencing an answer for skimming and scanning. I'm not skimming and scanning because I have a pretty good idea of where it is. I just want to make sure that I don't miss it by one paragraph. And I also think that it's B. So let me just check. I remember reading about the traditional modes of art where they followed the rules of reality. And then here Pollock rejected those rules. So there's my confirmation. It's definitely B. Now, with a high degree of confidence, I can just say, yeah, it's B. Okay. 28, different kinds of aesthetic value. So different kinds of aesthetic value. Again, where did I find that information? So I remember reading about that, and Tushar and Manisha say, I think it was somewhere near the end. If you remember what we were reading about, right? So we were reading about beauty in a sunset, beauty in a statue, beauty in a meal. That was somewhere near the end. So I remember it was E or F, something like that. Again, I'm not skimming and scanning. I'm just referencing, okay? So here, the value of abstract art, doesn't look like it. I'm looking for that statue and that sculpture. Hey, look, there's sculpture, there's symphony. So that was D. So good thing I checked because I thought it was E as well. But quickly I realized that E had those details about statues and sunsets. So D is my answer there. Okay. Two competing arguments about the value of abstract art. So here, some people think abstract art is, yay, it's great, it's beautiful. Some people say, no, it's terrible. Where did I read about that? Was it in the beginning, the middle, or the end? Where should I reference that information? Cass Curious says, I think that was around C, where they're talking about the debate. Definitely, I think it was in the first third as well. So I'm looking for A, B, C in this case also. C is a good start. Wow, look at that right away, right in the start. On one hand. If it starts with on one hand, then I might just see on the other hand or however, other people. And that's pretty good, okay? So on one hand, some critics feel that abstract art is facile, okay? On the other hand, but for many people, they merely see it as not mere lack of imagination, okay? That looks pretty good. So I'm going to stick with C on that one. So C is definitely a strong candidate. Okay, ambiguity itself provides part of the aesthetic experience. So, ambiguity itself, and I remember one of the body paragraphs I asked, what is it about? And then I said, oh, ambiguity, when we don't know what what the painting is exactly saying. That's really, really important. So which was that? Good. So a lot of you realized, hey, that was somewhere near the end. And this is why it's important to ask and answer those what, why, how questions. So let's have a look at the end. The end would be the last 3 paragraphs here. The value of abstract art for some critics are in its mystery. So notice how some of you said F, some of you said it's the last one, but it's not. But you did remember that it's somewhere in the last part of the passage, and E would be my answer to that one. Okay? The nice paraphrase here is the word mystery. Ambiguity, you see it come up here, and mystery are synonyms, okay? When something's ambiguous, it means it's unclear, mysterious, or unknown. So good. That's why for this type of question, if you see this kind of match the sentence to the correct paragraph, you should reference the paragraph, okay? So you should say, hey, okay, I remember roughly where I read it, but I'm going to double check just to make sure that that is the correct paragraph, okay? The key here is to know the general location of that information so that you can reference it, okay? That's the key in this one, in this type of a question. The mysterious nature of abstract art. So the mysterious nature of abstract art, okay? So here the focus is on the ambiguity of abstract art. Where did I read about the ambiguity of abstract art? The abstract art, we don't know what's going on. It's up to the viewer to figure that out. Now, realize that you may use any letter more than once, so it's tricky. Was it in the beginning or near the end? Reading passage 3, of course, the reading section gets more and more difficult, and the questions get more and more difficult. So this is a little bit more difficult question. Some of you think it's in the beginning. Some of you think it's in the end. Well, I think they talk about the mysterious nature of abstract art in the beginning because it makes sense to discuss that in the beginning of the passage. So I'm going to check in the beginning first. Look, abstract art by definition does not follow the rules of reality. Does not follow the rules of reality. It is the what question. It is the what answer. So abstract art rejected these rules. Instead, Pollock made his own rules. The aesthetic value of works is the ability for works like his to elicit pleasure when viewed. Okay, so I think the correct answer here is B. That's what I'm going to say for this one anyway. Okay, because the topic is abstract art and the controlling idea is the value or aesthetic merit of abstract art, it makes sense to discuss the mysterious nature of abstract art in the beginning of the passage, not near the end. Okay, so I would say that B is the right answer there. Okay, it's kind of weird to discuss that in the end, okay, as a conclusion. Aesthetic value is up to the viewer. So finally we get to this point where, hey, it's up to you, the viewer, whether it's good work of art or not. Beginning, middle, or end? Cast Curious says, I'm pretty sure that was the end. It does make sense as the conclusion, right, if I'm writing this essay. Okay. Perhaps the real answer, okay, I remember it was here. I'm just skimming over this right now to find it, or referencing right now to find it. Here on this account, if a person finds an abstract work of art pleasing, then that work of art is pleasing. So I think the correct answer here is F. Okay? So F is the paragraph that talks about, hey, if him or her likes it, then him or her likes it. So F. So I would say the correct answers here are B, D, C, E, B, and F, but we will check the answer key at the end and make sure. I don't memorize all the answers, girls and guys, so I could be wrong, but these are my answers. We'll take a look at the end, for the answer key, and then find out for sure, to be certain. Okay, questions 33 to 36, multiple choice. Multiple choice, again, you should come up with the answer on your own, then choose the one that matches. What makes abstract art different from classic art? It doesn't follow the same rules as classic art. It is made after the late 19th century. Well, maybe not. It does not follow classical art rules, definitely. It follows a pattern of logic, not necessarily. It elicits pleasure from the viewer. I'm going to go with B on that one. I hope it makes sense. So I answered this by myself. I said it doesn't follow the same rules. It does not follow the same rules. It's the same answer. It's paraphrasing what I just said right here. So I'm going to go B on that one. Okay. Just going to switch up colors here. I'm going to see it a little bit brighter, hopefully. So B. Okay. A common critique of abstract art is that it lacks skill or meaning. Okay, so remember I read that one of the points that people argue why abstract art is not valuable is because they say, hey, anybody can do it. You don't need skill. It doesn't need to look real. And it might not have meaning. So either skill or meaning. It didn't say imagination. The classic laws of physics, there's skill. D, I don't need to do a lot of searching. I'll just answer D. So B and D, okay? All right, so let's go on to number 35. Notice how I'm doing these multiple choice. I'm answering on my own, and then I'm choosing the one that matches. This should be review for some of our viewers like Manisha, okay? All right, why is it important to note that aesthetic merit not solely be reserved for the sublime? Well, because people give aesthetic merit, or people call a lot of different objects, situations, experiences beautiful or aesthetically pleasing. By the way, for those of you who haven't clued in yet, aesthetic means beauty or beautiful. Sublime is the absolute beautiful, like a nice sculpture or a nice painting. There's more than one kind of aesthetic merit. Yep, that's my answer. That matches, right? Food, sunset, so on. Aesthetic merit is reserved for experts. No, that doesn't even make sense. There's aesthetic merit in a sunset. That's just a detail. Aesthetic abstract art may have additional meanings. Nah, I'm going to go with A. This one matches closest to my answer because it was sunset, sculpture, food. Gave me lots of different kinds. So I'm going to stick with A on that one. Hopefully you do too. All right, 36. While realist works of art explicitly, so clearly, show their meanings, abstract works of art do what? They hide their meaning. Okay, my answer is realist works of art show their meaning, abstract works hide their meaning. Tell their meaning? That's not hide their meaning. Hide the meaning from the artist? No, that doesn't make sense. The artist knows what they're painting. Disambiguate the meaning? No, because ambiguate means mystery. So dis is the opposite of mystery. So no mystery, the meaning, is the opposite of what I'm thinking. Obscure the meaning. I know it's not A. I know it's not B. I know it's not C. Obscure is a new word. I don't know what it means, but it must be the right answer because A, B, and C are wrong. So it has to be. Obscure, by the way, is a synonym here for hide. So D is the correct answer there. Okay? Obscure means to hide, to make it difficult to see. All right, true, false, not given, 37 to 40. It's one of the ones that's difficult for many students. Again, there's a little bit of a trick you can use to this. Ask if the question's important. If yes, it's going to be yes or no. If no, it's not given. Here we go. 37. Abstract artists always give their artworks meaning. Is it important to know whether or not abstract artists always give their artworks meaning? Yes, absolutely. It's important. Is it true that abstract artists give meaning to their artworks? Yes, it is. It says in the passage that all art has meaning, and the meaning is given by the abstract artist. So I'm going to say true to the best of my knowledge. I rarely ever skim or scan for these answers, but the passage does say that all artwork has meaning, and I assume that artists give their artwork meaning, so it must be true. An artwork's aesthetic value is ultimately up to the observer. Is it important for this question where the value is coming from? Yes, it is. Is it true that the value in the end lies in the observer according to this passage? Yeah, I think it's true, so I'm going to go with true on it. Okay? I'm going to go with true on that one. 39. A lack of clarity is present in all artworks. Is it important to know whether or not all art, we can tell whether or not what it is? Yes. Is it true? No. Yes, it is true. A lack of clarity is present in all artworks because there is some ambiguity. I remember that was a tricky one, and here's where, if you want to reference, you can go back. It says all art has some mystery. It was in one of these paragraphs where it said that all art has. So I'm going to go true on that one as well. Now I'm starting to get a little bit nervous here because true. Is it possible? It could be. Okay. Artists often meditate upon the meaning of their artworks. Is that important for this? I don't think so. I'm going to go with not given. Okay. Only ever change your answers if you really think that one of them is wrong. It's possible to have true, not given. If I have some extra time, I might review these, but otherwise, I'm just going to stay focused. I have the writing section coming next. If I lose 1 or 2 marks in these 4 questions, I don't worry about it. Yeah, it could be true. Absolutely, Alexander. Let's have a look. Let's see how we did. Is it true, false? I don't know. Maybe. Let's take a peek at the answer key. Answer key is on page 133. Okay. Now, of course, we have the transcript, so you can find out where the answers are coming from as well. Okay, so, sorry, got to pop back here. So we're starting with, what was it, question number 26 or 27. Anyway, the answers are there, so it's, I believe it's 27. So B, D, A, G, E, F were the answers, and B for those first set, the matching ones. Then it's D, A, D, and then it's false, true, not given, okay? So it wasn't true, it was false, true, not given. But you know what? If you have a passage 3, true, false, not given, and you can get 3 out of 4, that is fantastic. Don't worry about that one question. That's not what's going to make or break your IELTS score, okay? The rest of them seem correct. So 12 out of 13 or 13 out of 14 questions is brilliant, okay? All right. If you're wondering about that true, false, not given, you can check the transcripts, find out why you got them wrong. So in the answer keys, you have test transcripts before the answer key, okay? And then you can go and check it out. So we have the an example speaking and example writing in the answer key. Lots of valuable materials there for you. Again, these materials are available on our websites. These are the example essays for task 1, task 2. And then if you keep going, you'll eventually come to the answer key transcripts for the reading questions. So basically it tells you that here's the answer to question number 32, whatever the viewer thinks it is, okay? So, girls and guys, that is it for today. Lots and lots of practice and information. A really important tip as I say goodbye here. The real IELTS, okay, it's at least 2.5 hours long. So when you're doing the listening, it takes about 45 minutes or so. The reading takes a full hour. The writing takes a full hour. So it's almost a 3-hour-long test. Today, we did half of a listening and we did one passage in 1 hour and 20 minutes. Keep in mind, it's important to practice full 3 hours intense English exam at home, okay, before you do the test. So if you're only doing 1 hour study sessions, make sure that before you do the real IELTS exam, you do at least one full mock exam where you sit and do the full listening, the full reading, and the full writing so that you feel that intense experience of the 3-hour-long exam, okay? You need to simulate that at home, okay? Thank you so much, girls and guys, for watching. I saw a lot of really great comments there. I was keeping half an eye on the chat, so some brilliant answers, suggestions, conversations amongst one another. Tune in again tomorrow. We will be switching, I believe, to speaking or writing tomorrow. I'm not sure. Check the schedule. Maybe I'll bring that up for a second so you know what's going on. Definitely download our app if you don't have it yet, Academic IELTS Help. Here's our schedule. Tomorrow we have a writing task 1 planned, so stay tuned for that. Visit our websites, sign up, try it for free, or pay for the full course. Definitely worth a few dollars. aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Much love, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a beautiful night, sweet dreams. If it's late where you are in your part of the world, wake up fresh tomorrow, start to another day. Bye for now, everyone.